So Wijnaldum was back in training, and so were two new faces. That is, one was Ben Woodburn, and joining him was Alberto Moreno. And it looks like Andy Robertson will not play tomorrow's game. That is a match against FC Porto because he didn't take part in the training session. And it's the second leg of UEFA Champions League, as you know. And Liverpool have already have 5-0 aggregate lead, which because of the match that they won in the first leg of the competition. So let's start today's podcast. That is episode number 5. I'm Miranik, and let's talk about how we will be lined up for this game, and what are the comments from coming from our coach, and some few things related to the team that is set to play their second leg game at Anfield. So let's start with something is coming from our coach, that is Jurgen Klopp. Klopp has stated that something about Lalana's injury, and how he is prepared for the future. That is he is now injury free, and he is set to be a part of a regular playing team. So there comes the first comment from Jurgen Klopp that life is to learn from your mistakes, and we all have to learn. Adam, myself, and the medical department, we made this mistake. He looked fit, but obviously he wasn't fit. Klopp says this in context of that Liverpool made a mistake in rushing Adam Lallana's return from injury earlier this season, as the midfielder was preparing for his uh, training in the Melwood today. And yes, Klopp also added that maybe two little setbacks, not the biggest setbacks, but in and out, and the other, and that makes no sense. So now we have to build with him. He's coming close. So yeah, Klopp was just referring to the rush that Liverpool did when he was injured, when Lallana was recovering from his injury. And he also says praises the player by saying that Adam is important for us. Yes, there is competition, but for Adam that's usually not a problem. He needed only time. So he's referring to his injury, that he needed time to recover from that injury. Klopp further adds that of course now he has no rhythm, but we still need him. We will use him still. He's cool. He sees the quality of the team is good. He also goes on to say that he's always one of the guys who push the level in the training on to the next level, because he is always so intense, and all the things he does, the time will come for him 100%. So maybe he won't start in the midfield today, but it looks like yeah, he will definitely be starting regularly for Liverpool in the coming games. So let's hope something like that happens. And before we go to other comments, let's talk a bit about the starting 11 expected starting 11 for this game. From the goalkeeper, I think Loris Karius will start, and our centre backs will be Matip alongside Van Dijk. And on the right back position, I would love to see Nathaniel Klein to at least get a start. If not, then maybe he comes on in the second half of the game, because he is back in training and he needs some football time, as he has been away from the football for a long period. And talking about our left back position, Alberto Moreno will be starting because he was in training, and not Andy Robertson. So that he will be our left back. Moving on to midfield, I think Henderson will start alongside Wijnaldum, who is fit, and our third player in the midfield will be uh, will be Milner. Of course, James Milner will be starting in the midfield, and Adam Lallana will come in the second half. That's what I expect. And for our forwards, I think we should rest our two forwards definitely for this game, because our next game will be against Manchester United, and we need our players to be fit for that game. So we shouldn't play them, or because this fixture is in our hands. So resting them would be a cool thing to do. And yeah, so on the right wing, I think Woodburn can get a chance. If not on the right, maybe he will go to left, and Mane will be on the other wing. That can happen. Woodburn can play on the wings. And for our forward, I think Solanke should get a start, and we should rest Firmino. Maybe put him on the bench, but definitely we should rest our two forwards in this game. Now, talking about comments from coming from James Milner about Mohamed Salah, he said that Salah is one of the best players he has played with. He also added that I've been lucky to play with some very good players throughout my career, and he's up there as well. So that's a big praise coming from Milner. He went on to say that he's a top player, and that's credit to the players around him, but also the club for helping him settle as fast as possible. Of course, that's a big thing which is happening at Liverpool. That is Salah coming in and scoring goal. In a way, He has scored 24 league goals in his first season for the club, and that is really an appreciable thing to anyone's. Even the football fans who don't support Liverpool, they would definitely praise his work rate and the way he has settled at the club. And Milner also goes on to say that he has had a great season so far, but hopefully he can keep that going and hopefully keep banging the goals in. And that's also what we wish for to happen in the remaining games of the season. And Milner also says about our fixture against Porto. He talks about training sessions and talks about playing for Liverpool. And so yeah, that what are his comments. He says the training is always at a high tempo, and I think you can see from the way we are playing and the form we are in, that everyone's on the front foot and feeling fresh. Yeah, that's true. We have already scored over 100 goals this season, and so that's a big reflection of how we are playing and how is our form. Definitely, we are not on the level of Manchester City, who have already won the league title in my eyes, but we are definitely doing really well. And next season, we should be aiming for a title at least. And Miller also went on to say that it's a very important game for us. Every time we put that Liverpool shirt on, there's an expectation, a pressure to win the game. Definitely, if you are playing for Liverpool, you need to give your best. That's what defines the club. Of course, we haven't won any appreciable silverware in so long time, but we need to do that, and definitely with that passion, we can achieve those things, which really looks like to happen in with this squad and with the side we have got right now. Also, Milner adds that all the players want to learn and always want to do their best for the team, and they are willing to go that extra mile. And you need that to be successful. That's well summed up from James Milner. Like definitely, we need to perform on the top notch level, and that's only how we will win titles and silverwares for Liverpool in coming seasons. I hope we at least do well in the Champions League. Making it to semi-finals would be a big achievement for us, and hopefully finishing second in the league. That would be also a good thing going under our coach. Talking about league, right now we are at the third position again because Manchester United just won a game against Crystal Palace in the injury time to the stunning volley from Matic. So we are back to third, and United are on second position, 3.2 points above us. And in the next game of the league, that is against our rivals United, we need to do better. If we want to finish second, we need to win that game. I really hope that happens. And on that note, I will say you goodbye for this podcast episode. I will catch you in the match analysis podcast. See you until then. Have a good day, good night, goodbye.